word, y'all. It's Double R the God tapping in with y'all. So look, does racism still exist? You motherfucking right, racism still exists. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. See, anybody that's saying that racism is going down or racism doesn't exist anymore is because you don't understand the word of what racism really means. Most people think racism is being prejudiced. Prejudice is when you have a prejudgment based on a person based off of their social group or something that you can categorize them in. For example, if I don't like you because, or if I have a prejudgment on you because you're religious, right? So I have all these ideas of the type of person you are just because you're religious or because of your sexual orientation. Now, discrimination is the act that follows that prejudgment. So if I'm prejudiced and then I discriminate against, let's say, religious people, and I don't communicate with you. Let's say we in a room and I don't communicate with you because I know that you're religious, or I won't help you out because you're religious. That's discrimination. So if I have a prejudgment on you because of your social group, and then I follow an act such as not interacting with you or not helping you out because of your social group, that's discrimination. Okay, so racism is when you have a group of people that all have the same prejudgment on a particular social group, and they carry out that discriminative act, but it's backed behind institutional power, it's backed behind military power, and it's backed behind spending power. So anytime you hear black people saying black people can't be racist, no the fuck we can't, because we don't have institutional power. We don't have a military to back us, and we don't have spending power. That's something that only white people have. That's something that only Asians have, and that's something that all Arabs have. You feel me? So no, black people can't be racist. Black people can be prejudiced. Black people can be discriminate, but black people cannot be racist. And just to give y'all an example of how racism works is, for example, me and my boy just went to go hoop the other day, right? So we going to hoop out in the white neighborhood. We filling out one of the guest passes or whatever, and my boy, he getting an email back from the dude that's at the place or whatever, and they like, so yeah, you know basketball isn't included in our guest pass. What the fuck does that mean? Why isn't that shit written on the website when you get ready to sign up for a guest pass that you can't play basketball, that's not included in the guest pass? And what he said over the email was, our guests feel uncomfortable due to the high population of playing basketball. First of all, any nigga that play basketball want more people to be there so that they can have more runs. But that was just a way for him to say, we don't want y'all niggas coming in here hooping. Pretty much. You get what I'm saying? So that's racism. That's an institution back behind power. You feel me? And that's only one example of how racism works. Okay? You get what I'm saying? So racism still does exist. You need to understand what racism is, and you need to know that shit still exists, and don't think that it's got something to do with me not liking you because of the color of your skin, or someone not liking you because of this and that. That don't have shit to do with racism. That's just being fucking ignorant. All right. So racism is when a group of people have a prejudgment on a particular social group, and it's backed behind institutional power, it's backed behind military power, and it's backed behind spending power. Peace. Finish. Another thing, if you are white, or you are Arab, or you are Asian, or you exist in a race that's outside of the black race, then you participate in racism. Not willingly. That doesn't mean that you don't like black people. That don't mean that you discriminate. You know what I'm saying? That don't even mean that you prejudice. What it means is, if you didn't know this piece of information that I just dropped on your head, that means that you've been existing in a system that perpetuates racism, and you didn't even know it. So you're participating in this act of racism in ways that you don't know. So it's a system. It's this what they mean when they say you in the system, because racism is a system. It's a system that's followed and that's carried out. So if you got a group of racist individuals, if you got a group of racist individuals, and they all got the same judgment and discriminative acts, and they own most of the corporations, what they're going to do is they're not going to come right out and say it like the example I just told you. They're going to find some way to say it in a racist ass way, like, yeah, basketball isn't included in the guest pass. Because you know why? Because we know basketball is niggas' favorite sports. Everybody know that. So we not about to sit here and act like that's not a racist ass remark. Now we gonna have people arguing and saying all type of shit probably in the comments. I don't give a fuck, because real recognize real. All right. So when you look at systems that can, when you got a institution like that can say something like that, and they can stop black people from showing up or, you know, doing certain things, then, you know, you see that shit more often. Like, even with any store or with any business, they can do those type of things. And that's what they mean by a system. That's what they mean when, like, for example, the crack epidemic. Why did crack hit black people so bad? Because Caucasian people knew how crack bonded with people's melanin. Now, we just talked about melanin and how it bonds with other substances, and we're gonna get into that more deeply. But long story short, cocaine, the way that it bonds with melanin, and remember, melanin is just a chemical. So if we take motherfucking bleach and mix it with some water, we get a new solution, right? Because the chemicals interact in a certain way. So if I got more chemicals in my body of a certain nature than you do, then when we mix this other chemical with my chemical, it's going to cause me to react differently than you. So that was the same situation in the with the crack epidemic. They knew that crack was how it bonded with melanin, and they knew that it excited our melanin, and we have melanin has a similar chemical makeup as cocaine and other drugs. And all these drugs like marijuana and shit, they overexcite our melanin, and it allows you to become easily addicted to the shit. So that's why it hit black people so bad. So, you know, certain shit like marijuana, how they do drug tests and shit like that. A lot of people don't know that marijuana can actually naturally pop up in your system when the certain chemicals combine. So being that our melanin actually produces marijuana on a natural level, you can piss dirty for a test even if you don't smoke weed. All right. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to say that most drug tests you can still pass if you're not smoking weed, because the level that they have it at is probably not going to show just that small amount. But it's possible for marijuana to pop up in your system like that. So when you got these laws out here like shit like that, you get what I'm saying? Got laws out here like that, it's easy to keep a certain race of people or to keep a certain group of people out. Like another example was I heard this thing that said on the radio. It was a commercial. It was like, yeah, we offering all free training and this and that and yada yada for if you're trying to get back into school or get some training. You just can't have braids. Why the fuck not? Why can't I have braids when I come to this place? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really because I'm pretty sure if a female came there with braids, black or white, it wouldn't be nothing said. But it's the idea of braids, of a nigga having cornrows, that automatically associates you with being a monkey. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what that said. And so, you know, it's systems out here in play that's not gonna directly come out and say it, but you know, a lot of other things too. You know, females in the workplace having their hair in their natural form. Some places it's not allowed, or some places you can't have locks in your hair. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that mostly it's only black people that have locks in their hair. It is some white people that have locks in their hair, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is this a system out here that's so in between the lines, you don't even notice it, because as soon as you're born, you right into the system, boy.